It is Monday, November 15th in the NBA, and we are back for our best bets, including some spreads, over-unders, and player props coming your way. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. I do the daily NBA best bets videos over here on this channel, and yesterday, normally we are here every single day. Yesterday, I took the day off. I was traveling. We had a lot of going on with the NFL, too. But that doesn't mean we can't recap Saturday's slate because we had a pretty good day. And if I have to live through the bad days, you best believe we're going to celebrate the good days. But first, we need a prop and not a player prop. Yeah, get your brooms out. Get your brooms out, baby. Yes, that is right. A 4-0 sweep on Saturday. It doesn't get better than that. We had the Magic team total under. Cash it. The Celtics team total under. Cash it. Reggie Jackson's over in points. Boom. Franz Wagner under in 3-pointers. You love to see that. Now we are back for the rest of the NBA season. So subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're less than 150 subscribers away from 13,000. And once we hit 13,000, we're gonna do a $13,000 giveaway parlay to our subscribers. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. We'll do that parlay giveaway on Wednesday, assuming we hit it by then. Also, last 3 notes. 1, like the video and comment your best bet down below. Number 2, Monday Night Football. Best bets, Rams versus 49ers is live. It will be linked down below in the description and in the comment section and at the end of the video, so you can't miss out on it. Number 3, make sure you follow us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, all of them at Calling Our Shot. We appreciate it. We're almost at 5,000 followers on Twitter, so that's pretty cool. And I'll likely release another added play, 2 or 3, as the day goes on, probably closer to injury tip-off. Now, let's get into it. We're starting with my best bet. We're going to renew this segment, and we're starting with Malcolm Brogdon, taking his over 10.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 132 on FanDuel. So I know some people don't have rebounds and assist line, and that's okay. I'd probably lean towards his rebounds, but I think both of them are a pretty good bet. Now today, I'm going to keep this one short. His opponent today is my New York Knicks. And the Knicks, if you follow their starting lineup, one of the worst in the NBA, giving up so many points to opposing teams. I believe their defensive rating is 7 points worse than any other team in the NBA this season. Now, Malcolm Brogdon, the first note, he's going to play a lot of minutes. He's averaging 36.7 minutes per game. That's 5th most in the NBA. Now, number 2, he's fresh off a triple-double last game. Now, he only had 13 points, which is why I considered his PRA line, but only 13 points. But he had 10 rebounds, 10 assists versus a very good Sixers defense and very good Sixers team. Now, on the season so far this season, he's averaging 7.2 rebounds per game, 6.8 assists per game. That's 14 rebounds and assists combined. Now, this line's 10.5, which honestly I think is a little bit off. I think it should be at least 11.5, maybe 12.5, and I wouldn't mind at those lines either. Now, you look at it, Malcolm Brogdon, he's been on a tear this season. He's cashed this over in 7 of 9 games, including 3 of the past 4, where he's had 13 rebounds and assists combined. So he's not necessarily just hitting it at 11. Some guys are barely hitting their over, but that you could say, oh, they've cashed over in 5 of 6 games. Yeah, they're only getting 11. No, Malcolm Brogdon's destroying this line. He's at 13 or more in the last 3 of the last 4 games. In the 2 games, he hasn't hit the over and is on the whole entire season. 1 game, he played just 22 minutes, and he still ended up with 10 rebounds and assists. And the other game, it was a game against the Nuggets. It was just an off night. Now, since becoming an Indiana Pacer, he's played against the Knicks 5 times. And all 5 of those, he's cashed the over in only 4 of them. So what can you do? 80% of the time. Now, the 1 game he didn't cash it, he only had 10 rebounds and assists. But here's his combined game log: 15, 10, 15, 14, and 19. So he's had 15 plus. He's at 14 plus in 4 of the 5 games, finishing on the hook in 1 of them. The 1 game that he didn't hit it, well, he had 33 actual points, so you can't blame him. He wasn't passing that much. The last note, he's averaging 14.2 assist chances per game and 12.8 rebound chances per game. That's 27 combined rebounds and assist opportunities. All we need is 11, so I'm going to lock it in as my best bet of the day, over 10.5 rebounds plus assists for Malcolm Brogdon. Now, moving on to some spreads and over-unders, taking the Hawks. Minus 10 versus the Magic, now minus 110 on FanDuel. Now, I think the Hawks found something yesterday, and while I didn't necessarily bet on the NBA, I was keeping track of it. I did see they won by 20 against the Bucks. But granted, that Bucks team's a big wishy-washy. That Giannis didn't have a great game, but Chris Middleton still should be. I believe Chris Middleton's reported to be back on Wednesday, so we'll see how they look going then. But Trae Young, full takeover mode, 40-plus points. They won by 20 against that Bucks team. And I think that confidence carries over into today. Now, you've heard me talk about the Hawks. You've heard me fade them. We're still going to keep fading them on the road. Today, they're at home. They are 0-9 against the spread on the road, but at home, they're 4-1 against the spread. And the Magic have lost 4 of their last 5 games, all of those at home by 13 or more points, and they're fully capable of getting blown out. This is the Magic team that's pretty young, and I think that we could easily see them lose this game by a ton of points. Now, in the 2 games at home for the Hawks last season when they took on the Magic, they won by 16 and 23 points. The Hawks team, I think, is pretty hungry. They're a little bit angry after starting the season 5-9. They're all the way at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings. I think they show up and show out today in ATL. So I think they're going to rattle off some wins here. So I'll take their spread -10 versus the Orlando Magic. Now, we're going to another over-under pick, very similar to what we did on Saturday when we did that surgical sweep. We're going to take the Wizards versus the Pelicans. We're taking the under, 215.5 points, -110 on FanDuel. Now, I like this line. It could probably go down to 211, 208. I like this line. I think it's way too high. Now, I considered the Pelicans team total under today, but I didn't have a line for it. A lot of books don't have the over-under line. FanDuel did have it earlier this morning when I'm recording this at 4 a.m., but the Wizards, they still are without Bradley Beal. Now, the Pelicans will get Brandon Ingram back. If Brandon Ingram wasn't playing in this game, its over-under should be like 180. But joking aside, the Pelicans will have Brandon Ingram back, which does help them on the offensive side. They're still without my boy Zion Williamson, so the offense will still struggle. But the Pelicans have gone under this line in 6 of their last 7 games, and now they get to go against the Wizards team, who, like we talked about on Saturday, they're very good defensively. They're 4th best defensive rating in the NBA, and I believe, like we talked about against the Magic, no Bradley Beal, this offense will go a lot slower than people might think. Now, they're going to run a lot more plays than as you would assume, like Bradley Beal just going ISO, taking a pick and roll, and going to the rim. They're going to run more plays than they normally do, and we should see Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Kuzma, and company shooting a lot more. Now, in games that the Pelicans have hit this over this season, what they have had to do is knock down threes. And what did we talk about on Saturday? Wizards, best in the NBA at defending the three-point line. They're only letting teams knock down 9.2 three-pointers a game. That's 1.2 less than any other team in the NBA, and they've been very good defensively, and the Wizards have been cashing the under at a crazy rate this season. They have cashed the under in 8 of their 12 games so far this season, and the Pelicans, even better. They've cashed the under in 10 of 14 games. I think I like the under in this spot, 215.5 points. Like I said, I like the line even lower. We'll see what the line movement changes throughout the day, but I love it without Bradley Beal. I'm taking the under, 215.5 points in the Wizards versus Pelicans game. And moving on to a lean. Now, I'm not going to make this an official play, and I'll talk about why. I'd be taking the Portland Trailblazers, be taking their money line versus the Raptors. Now, if you like to play and dance with the devil, then sure, take it now, because we do not know if Damian Lillard will be playing, and that's why I'm not going to be taking it now. Now, right now, it's around -110 to -120. Now, if Damian Lillard is active, I assume this line will creep up a little bit more towards like -130, -140, maybe -150, and that's when I'll probably lean towards their spread and likely add it, but I'll let you guys know in the pinned comment section down below. And like I said, the Raptors, they just lost the Pistons, and that's an auto fade. But the Raptors, joking aside, they really haven't looked great this season. They've been very up and down. Where all the Blazers, same exact thing. They have not looked good on the road, but today they're at home. They've won 3 straight versus Raptors team. That's why I'm considering taking their spread, but we'll lock that in the comment section down below once we see injury status. And hopefully we know Damian Lillard's playing sooner rather than later. Let's move on to some player props. Dennis Schroeder. I swear someone told me how to pronounce the name, but I forgot. So over 16.5 points, -110 on DraftKings. Now, Dennis, he's been on a tear. Dennis the Menace, that's what they call him. That's not new. That's corny. Now, in his last 2 games this season, he's at 38 and 28 points, and that includes 28 against today's opponent, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, after a bad offseason where Dennis, for lack of a better term, fumbled the bag, and that resulted in him signing a 1-year deal with the Celtics. So he's playing for his next payday this season, and to get a payday this offseason. So what does that mean? He's going to be firing it up a ton of times. Now today he's really come into that number 2 scoring option on the Celtics team behind obviously Jason Tatum, but without Jaylen Brown. So Marcus Smart kind of taking a back seat to him, and that has showed. Jaylen Brown's been out for 5 games this season. Mr. Dennis Schroeder cashed the over in 5 of those games. He's at 18, 20, 20, 38, and 28 points, including the last 2. He's cashed the over in all 5. He shot the ball over 14 times in all 5 of those games, and 19 plus in 3 of those 5. Dennis, not afraid to shoot a shot, and I think he will get it going today against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I think this game could be more higher scoring, since I imagine a lot of people will be on the under. So, of course, we'll get a high scoring game like we did in the Pistons versus Raptors game on Saturday. That was a weird game. Now, moving on to another player prop, we still got 2 more. Zach Levine, I'm taking his over, 27.5 points, -106 on FanDuel. Now, today, Levine and the Bulls, they're going for the Staples Center sweep. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, yesterday, they beat the Clippers by 10, and now they're again back-to-back against the Lakers tonight. I believe the game's at 10:30. Now, Levine, he got up his shot attempts yesterday, 27 shot attempts. He only hit 11 of them, but he still managed 29 points hitting this over. Now, today, we should see more of the same. Now, Nikola Vucevic, still out, the starting center for the Bulls. He will still be out. The offense will continue to run through Zach Levine. Just a couple more shot attempts. I'm curious what Alex Caruso's line will be today. Did not have it this earlier in the morning, but it's a revenge game, so maybe we'll add him to the slate later. But not to mention, Mr. Levine, he went to college in LA at UCLA, and I'm sure he'll have some friends in the crowd that he wants to put on a show for. Now, Levine, he's only averaging 25.9 points per game. I know only. He's still averaging basically 26 a game. But in games that he shot, he's shooting it over 20 times a game. Well, let me take a step back. In games that he has shot over 20 times, he scored no less than 26. So he's at least, I don't know, 26 won't cash his over, but I think he'll get pretty close, and I think he can get over the hump with a great matchup against the Lakers, who have struggled against opposing point guards and shooting guards so far this season. Last note, Levine, his last game against the Lakers in the Staples Center, 38 points last season. I think he gets it going today, high usage rate, and I think he'll be firing it up again, like 27 shots. Music to my ears. Give us another 27 today, Zach Levine. Moving on to another player prop, Ricky Rubio, over 21.5 PRAs, points plus rebounds plus assists, minus 108 on FanDuel. Now, the line, too low. Why is it 21.5? Maybe I'm falling into a trap, but without Colin Sexton, Rubio is playing an even bigger role than he had been earlier on in the season. He's still sometimes coming off the bench. Sometimes I believe he's still off the bench, but he's still playing over 30 minutes per game. These two teams, Cavs versus Celtics, just played each other a couple nights ago, and Rubio, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 28 PRAs, cashing it easily, and he shot just 4 for 17 from the field. Now, I love his shot attempts, and let's talk about him. Now, Rubio has attempted 10-plus shots in conveniently 10 games this season, and he's cashed the over in 7 of them. One of those games he missed the over, ended on 21 on the hook. Another one he ended on 19. The other one he just didn't play all that well. Now, conveniently enough, I'm just going to keep taking his over because Rubio, he's going to be on the court 30-plus times. We could also see Marcus Smart shift over to guard Darius Garland, who kind of gave them fits last game with 22.6 assists. So we could see a lot of Dennis Schroeder, hopefully I pronounced that right, versus Ricky Rubio, 2 of our props, one-on-one. Love to see that, so I'm going to be locking it in. So moving on to my call and my shot portion, Robert Williams, the Time Lord, double-double, plus 190 on FanDuel. Now, I'll take my chances in this spot because you look at the center for the Celtics, who they call the Time Lord, just played against his Cavs team, 12 points, 16 rebounds last game. Now, the Time Lord, as they call him, 3 double-doubles past 3 games, 3 straight, and in 5 of his last 9. They'll need him to play extended minutes to keep Jared Allen and Evan Mobley off the boards, and I think they'll need him. And if you look at Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, they're contesting a lot of shots. We could see some rebound, easy putback opportunities for Robert Williams. I think the hardest part, in my opinion, is going to be the points. I think he might get the rebounds, so consider his rebounds prop, but I'll just take the double-double. Don't want that much on it. I'll put a half-unit play. It's plus 190. This guy's hit it in 3 straight games, 5 of 9 overall. I'll take it. I love the Time Lord, so I'll be banking on him. Now, like I said, Monday Night Football, best bets on the screen. Check it out. Make sure you check it out. We got a player prop and an over-under pick in that video. We appreciate you guys for subscribing to the channel. If you're new, if you're enjoying the videos, I'll be back Tuesday to recap the rest of our bets. Follow us on Twitter, all the social medias down below, and we'll be getting after it today. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's been Austin. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.